Good afternoon and welcome to the Keswick Ripple podcast. My name is Jim Lang. I'm the Director of Guest Services here. And each week we want to bring you a testimony that we hope encourages your heart and life. One of the most dynamic parts of our ministry is that when a man or woman comes to one of our programs and is radically changed by the gospel of Jesus Christ, they're sent back out to their churches, their families, their communities, and God uses them in a mighty way. And so today I want to introduce you to David. So David, we're so glad that you're with us, that you're willing to share a little bit of your story. Absolutely. And so why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about what life was like before the Colony of Mercy?
Oh man, growing up, I didn't have either one of my parents really in my life. I guess my mother, she was either at work, she was home in bed, or sick, or at the hospital. My father, again, he wasn't really there. So that led me down the path of doing my own thing, fending for myself, hanging out with the wrong crowd, getting into smoking pot and doing other drugs, and up until my early 20s when drinking got involved. That still held a job. I was definitely in the start of my career, but at the age of 23, 24, I decided to get sober, and I was sober for about 4 years until 27 when my mother took her life, to where all control that I thought I had was gone.
And so what kind of affected, your mother commits suicide, you kind of go into a depression and find refuge in drugs and alcohol. What kind of effect did that have on your life?
Isolation, destroyed relationships. At the time I was engaged, and that the hiding of the drinking and the drinking in itself didn't help with that. Family functions wasn't there. It was bad. It was bad.
So you told me that one of the things that came out of your mother's death was you kind of rekindled a relationship with your father. And so how did that help bring you to the Colony of Mercy?
So my father is a graduate twice over, 2013 and 2017. I knew he was back in 2013, but 2017 when he came through, that it was a year after my mother's suicide, so I kind of had an idea of what this place was like, but it just wasn't ready for me yet, I guess you could say.
What's really neat is that back in 2013, I came through with your father and got to know Fred really well during my time here. And so it's been really neat to not only get to know him, but to get to know you as well. And so this is actually your second time in the colony. You were here last summer. You actually graduated last August. And so, what happened when you left here last August?
Yeah, so I came through the colony April 4th to August 4th, and I had everything set up. I had my covenant set up. I had a place to live. I had money saved up. I had a job set up. I had my car. Literally everything was there. But 2 days after I graduated, there was that sense of entitlement. There was opportunity right in front of my face, and instead of just turning away and shutting the door right then and there, I took that and the whole, I deserve this. I'm doing good. I have sobriety under me. I have everything set up. What's one? Mm-hmm. But that lasted some time.
Okay. And so what did you kind of graduate, you immediately kind of fall flat on your face.
Yeah, I did.
What did you learn from that experience?
Man. Let's see. Well, within the 3 weeks of me falling flat on my face, I learned that there was something deeper within me that needed to, that was trying to get out, but my sin in itself was trying to withhold it, and to cover up the shame and the guilt, I decided to continue drinking to where it's to try to cover up the sinning or the shame and guilt, but it was just adding more on top of it.
So you come back to the colony, you graduate again, and this time you kind of pump the brakes a little bit and you decide you're going to stay for our extended program, discipleship. And so what has God been teaching you this time around?
My identity. Definitely my identity of who I am in Christ and what I am, and that's a child of God, and being righteous and blameless in the eyes of God is just, that's who I am now.
Yeah. And so there's many people that watch these podcasts. Someone who's watching right now might be struggling with drugs or with alcohol. What's one thing that you'd say to them today?
Something that's helped me, especially the whole time coming back, especially in discipleship, was Psalms 46:10, and that's just be still and know that He is God. He will carry you through this the season in life that you're in. It's helped me. It's continuing to help me, and just the constant reminder of who I am, and that's a child of God.
Well, David, thank you for sharing a little bit of your story. It's been neat to see how God not only works in your life, but in your family's life, and watching your father as well. And so we hope that this testimony encouraged your heart. We also want to encourage you to share this testimony. If it's encouraged you, share that encouragement by hitting like or hitting share. We also want to invite you this weekend to join us virtually for our Memorial Day conference that starts Friday at 7 p.m. Pastor Dave Ritter will be sharing God's word with us. We hope to see you there.